All right, got slimes and golems down, have you? Congratulations! From now on, we shall use audio guides like this for major bosses. Trinity Seeker is the first of those bosses, and you will need to have an active essence to even survive his raid wards. So if you have a not, you should use one now. If you're not going for the kill, a defensive one will suffice, but you will need a pure essence for your role if you're attempting a kill, or you will reach enrage instead. This might just be the most chaotic fight in the instance, as mechanics tend to overlap a lot and go in quick succession. However, there is no randomness in the order of mechanics, so pay attention to callouts and your positioning. Now, for how the fight actually plays out. Like the other Trinity boss, the Seeker has three distinct phases, symbolizing the three warriors used by the 4th Legion to create what you have in front of you. Those phases will go according to the weapons they are using. We have phase 1, where the boss uses 4 swords. Phase 2, where the boss uses 2 great swords. And phase 3, where the boss uses his fists. The boss will start in his 4 sworded stance and will rotate through them in this order by casting Verdant Path, hitting the players according to the phase he is transitioning into. The attack pattern is determined by the color of the aura surrounding him while casting. It will always be red, green, blue, back to red, meaning we'll go through the unarmed stance only once, and the other 2 twice, before the boss enrages. Another specificity of Savage is clones. The boss will quite often cast Manifest Avatar, creating one or more clones to his side, which will cast a mechanic of their own. Those mechanics can be repeats of the boss's mechanics or brand new ones. I'll now go over the phases and the mechanics in order. Phase 1 is the merciful phase, where the boss wields 4 swords. When transitioning into this phase, the boss will hit the arena with 4 line AoEs from each of his cardinals to dodge, run far out in intercardinal directions. If the boss is properly positioned, this should equate to running towards number markers. His 2 mechanics in this phase are Mercy Fourfold, a faster version of normal mode, and Seasons of Mercy, which is the same as normal mode. For Fourfolds, we will call out the safe cardinals for each cleave, always relative to the boss or clone casting it. For Seasons, no callouts are required, but we will call out Ice, followed by the location of the orb and flower. When a clone is present, it might imitate both of those mechanics. Phase 2 is the Baleful phase, where the boss wields 2 greatswords. When transitioning into this phase, the boss will hit the arena with 2 large 180 degrees cleaves from each of his sides. To dodge, you will need to stay either in front of him, in his back, or inside his hitbox. His mechanics in this phase are Baleful Onslaught, Barefoot Blade, and Phantom Edge. First off, Phantom Edge is a cast that will reverse the next mechanic, so keep that in mind. Baleful Onslaught is a tank buster that has to be shared between 4 tanks or so. When reversed, it is instead a lethal knockback for the main target and anyone standing around them. If only the main target is hit, there is no knockback and no damage, so we'll call it a solo tank buster. Barefoot Blade is a lethal raid-wide AoE that can be only avoided by seeking refuge behind the barriers situated on the intercardinals of the room. When reversed, it is instead a powerful knockback, so stand on the boss's intercardinals so get caught by said barriers. Otherwise, you will be flung into the death wall, and those mechanics will never be repeated by clones. Phase 3 is the Iron Fists phase, where the boss fights unarmed. When transitioning into this phase, the boss will hit one random target with an untelegraphed stack marker. Everyone, and I repeat, everyone will need to stack together in a line, usually behind the boss. The boss main mechanics in this phase are Iron Splitter and Dead Iron. Iron Splitter is similar to normal mode, where the boss or a clone using it will jump somewhere in the arena, place a fist on the ground, and after a delay, make all circles of that color explode. You will need to stand on one of the ground parts of the opposite color, either bricks or sand, as will be called out. Dead Iron places markers over three players' heads, and after a delay, shoot three corner attacks towards those players. Anyone hit will get an earth resistance debuff. So to resolve, everyone not marked will try to stack together, leaving room for the three marked players to fan out. What we want is to avoid hitting the group with one of those and to avoid two overlapping, as anyone hit by two will die instantly. Clones can also repeat both of those mechanics. For mechanics specific to clones, we have Iron Rose and what we will call either Ifrit dashes or Discount Ravana. Iron Rose is three wide line AoEs to be dodged. Those are baited on players. For dashes, clones will appear around the arena, striking a far intercardinal point and rotating 1/8 of the arena, either clockwise or counterclockwise. After 5 hits, they will dash through the arena from a starting point and in succession, much like Ifrit dashes. Resolve, you move out a bit where called out, then move into the dashes after they happen. Again, clockwise or counterclockwise. For other mechanics, we have the generic red white Verdant Tempest, so mitigate accordingly when you see that happening. We also have chains that will appear over players' heads every so often. For that, everyone should stack together, wait for the markers over your heads to disappear, then scatter to break them. Those are distance based, so the farther you go to the person you are linked to, the more likely it is to break. As the order of the mechanics is always the same, I will not go over it right now because it would make this a little too long. But because there is no randomness, you'll get the flow of things quickly enough. I will now give back the mic to present me, and all who fell asleep should now wake up. Don't forget to drop all tank stances except for the designated main tank. Use your essence, set up your proper lost actions, jump on some raid food, and good luck!